from a career perspective,
Mm-hmm.
do you think it's easier to get into concept art or matte painting, or is that, is there even such a question of easier, or is it just different?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's a good one. It's kind of hard to answer straight away. I mean, well, I think there are, these days specifically, it looks like it's kind of cool to do, conceptual work, and it's very popular. Like matte painting was like that. I think like 10 years ago, everyone wanted to be a matte painter, and now it seems to be with concept art. I mean, that seems to be the case. I think it's equally. I mean, it might be equally hard to get your first job because people don't know you. It's hard for them to trust, especially if you don't have that sort of experience in the industry, right? But once you get that first job, and then you can sort of prove that you're hardworking, you're dedicated person, you're driven, you do your best no matter what. And then once they see that, they either keep you if they have enough job, or it's later for you to find next job afterwards. But it might be a bit challenging to get that first one. Whether one is easy than the other, I don't know. It's kind of, I mean, it's hard to say. It's just a matter of circumstances, really, as well. Sometimes there are many projects and they need like specific people with specific skills for that specific tasks, and they are looking for matte painters. Other times they might not have, or the show may be that very heavily driven on 3D work, and they don't necessarily need matte painters, specifically matte painters. They might look for environment artists, and then with concept art, working in visual effects at a studio, it might be they might not look as often to work in-house at a visual effects studio, because concept art, we usually work kind of fast, and we usually able to work on a few things at a time and juggle things and stuff like that. So they might not necessarily look as often, but that's also, there are exceptions in that case too as well. There might be lineup of projects and they really need a bunch of people. So yeah, I mean, I think both might be easy, it may be hard sometimes, but I advice would be just go with your feelings, go with your heart. Like, ask yourself what you would like to do, and put all the effort into that. And sooner or later, that will happen. As long as you stay persistent, it will happen.
Yeah, I think there's also a concern, I guess. I know that there's a question about, can a concept artist work remotely? I mean, it's happening all the time now. COVID has definitely changed the way a lot of us work now.
Yeah.
So I think the answer on that part is yes. I think the bigger question is it harder to get known just from your presence online as opposed to like maybe more in person?
Obviously, if you're starting off, most likely you don't know, anybody. And sometimes, to be honest, like, yes, it's great to promote yourself, especially on social media, ArtStation and whatnot. So especially if you're looking for more like freelance work, definitely that's definitely a great way of doing that. And I was doing similar things when I was like starting off for freelance. That would help. It also a great thing to reach out to people who work at a studio where you would like to work. But before doing that, make sure that your portfolio is up to the quality, because if you just send them hello email, but you really have nothing to contribute or to say, it just doesn't make sense. There is no point in it. So try to, if you do that, try to make sure there is a certain question, there is certain target, and your work is up to the quality. And maybe get in touch with them. Like, let's see, maybe there is an opening at a studio right now there, and you feel like, okay, maybe I am good enough, maybe not, I'm not sure, but maybe it's good to talk to someone there to get that feedback. Or even in general, just get in touch with them and ask for feedback. Don't do it too often, because that also might be too annoying, and people are busy. But get in touch and ask for feedback. That's a great thing, because sometimes I can tell you that a lot of people, they're very big on ArtStation and things like that, but people who work in the industry on the highest level, they might not even have ArtStation. They might not even, or they might have it and they have like thousands of followers, and that's it. They just don't have time to post images there. They don't have time for that social promotion things. They're just busy on what they do, and they commit completely to that. And so that might be the way to get in touch with them, just to kind of hit them up directly with email or message or something like that. So I mean, once again, ArtStation great, but it's not the end. So
yeah, I noticed that a lot of people who are like my generation, who kind of maybe started in the transition from analog to digital, you know, a lot of them don't have websites still. It's shocking, actually. But they've maintained a work reputation, which just gets the repeat call all the time. And because they've built that within the industry. So I think the industry cred goes probably further.